Ooh, hey everybody! Hey, WahooWarrior here. We are at Clawcon down here in St. Roberts, Missouri by the Army base. So they kind of have an informal system to start off, and I actually had the pleasure to meet Hugh. Hugh challenged me to his first match because why, Hugh?
Because I learned to play bolt action by watching your videos.
Awesome. So actually what he said is he said he thought he could take me.
No,
so yeah, Hugh, we had a really nice conversation this morning. I was very happy to hear that I influenced somebody to the path of the bolt action. So we're running scalps today, first mission, and it's going to be Brits versus Brits. Well, Brits versus Pacific Brits. So what are we running, Hugh?
Alright, so I have a first lieutenant with an attendant, my free observer,
yep,
and then a Ghurka squad, veterans in a truck.
Okay.
Veterans, border with the spotter, AEC Mark III, M3 Stewart, veterans with 2 LMGs, veterans with 2 LMGs, and Ghurkas in a truck, and 25-pounder with the spotter.
Nice. So all vets or Ghurkas for your infantry?
Yes.
No regulars, right?
No regular infantry.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And then this has the pintle mount?
It does.
Okay,
And
so
all the machine guns.
All the machine guns. What's this guy with the dog?
So that is a Stassi's Heroes miniature, and it's actually the Beachmaster from The Longest Day.
Oh, cool. Right. All right. So how many order dice?
13.
13. I have 15. And have you gone over my list? I could go over to. It's 4 squads of Ghurkas.
Yes.
2 of them are submachine gun squads. They have 5 submachine guns. The other 2 are just rifles with anti-tank grenades.
Okay.
Then I've got a unit of 7 veteran irregulars. They deploy as scouts. Then I have a medium mortar with a spotter, and all my infantry is veteran as well. But my side stuff is not.
It's all regular.
Yeah, except for the medic. I have a medic who's a vet. My lieutenant's a vet. Then I have 4 regular trucks. 3 of them carry 8. 1 carries 10. No guns on them. The Humber Mark II, 7 armor light autocannon, and then the lead. I think that covers it all. All right, so let's get her set up. Here's our table. Let's go over table real quick. Play the roads as road. Okay. This is it going to be a ruin or a house, or what do you guys play with that? Have you seen that model before? I
have not. Have you?
No. Looks nice. Needs to be painted, but
Looks like a ruin.
I'd say let's play a ruined house.
Yep.
I'm pretty liberal with, like obviously you have to advance in recs.
Yes.
So you don't have to do a run to get in it. You can advance right in. You can also advance up to the 2nd floor.
Yep.
So it's going to be slow moving, but it will not negate HE. So it won't negate HE. You'll still get to cover it because it's not a building.
Correct.
The wood stands, dense terrain, light cover, rough ground.
Rough ground.
If you're in it, you can see all the way through it, right?
Yep.
But you'll still take the minus if you're not within 2 inches of the edge.
Yes.
Okay. What do you want to play these as? Soft cover.
Soft cover.
Firing all the way through it in any way or in it?
Yep. Because they're just fields.
Okay, but clear as far as movement?
Yes.
Sounds good. And then another wrecked house, another wrecked house.
We'll just play them all over.
So the only thing printed on the table we're going to use is the road, right?
Yes.
Not those creeks and woods? Okay, I agree with that. Because I forget they're there, honestly. Other than the road, like I've tried to play with them.
I always forget that all that other stuff.
Yeah, I suppose if you didn't own tree stands, it would be. All right, so where are you from?
I am from Camden, Arkansas.
Camden, Arkansas. And what brings you here? The military, or just came up?
Just came up with our group. Get some.
How far away is that?
It's 5 hours.
5 hours. So that's a little bit of a way, because you seem like a local.
No, we just come up here a lot.
Okay, good. All right. Well, let's have at it. Hey everybody. So there's a ton of tournament noise here at this. It's a kind of a concrete floor, and it's a big kind of convention center-y thing, so it's tons of echo. So my opponent here and I, we went ahead and did our deployment before I started the video, and we're playing a scalps game. If you're not familiar with scalps, it's basically kind of like, take the regular objectives, but then if you kill a unit, your unit that killed it holds that scalp, and then if he kills that unit, then you lose what you've gained. So I started to basically load up everything kind of. We did alternate deployment out of the bag, and we did that for all the scenarios, which I think is actually it's good and competitive, but it took like an entire turn of time to do. So right off the bat, I have 2 units in outflank. I have a unit of Ghurkas on the left in a truck and a unit of Ghurkas on the right in a truck. I can't remember if he has a unit in outflank or not. I think he may. But so right after we get done with the deployment, I even comment to my opponent, I'm like, man, that outflank might take forever to come in. I don't know if we'll have enough time to get it done. We have 2.5 hours at 12:50. So it's basically like a 25-minute delay in the deployment phase. Just and we weren't trying to go slow. We were just it just takes time to do it that way. So I'm setting up my spotters and observers, and I get to put my militia out as a spotter and observer. And I don't know what I'm going to do so much. He's got that AEC armored car over here on the right. He's got a truck there with Ghurkas in it. He's got his tank off the board. I left my tank, my armor car, and alright, so yeah, I've got my armor car and my tank. I've got the 2 units of Ghurkas and trucks. So I've got this one truck back here behind the woods with nobody in it, and I've got this truck I put on the road with a squad of Ghurkas in it. And he still hadn't placed his armored car, so he went ahead and placed his armored car right across from him. And I was like, oh my lord, I thought that was in reserve, but he clearly said it was not. So thankfully, needing I think a 4, he missed. So he missed my squad in the truck. That would have kind of sucked. I mean, it wouldn't have hurt him too much. It just would have been an order dice gone, and the armored car would have had an order dice. And it's really tough to get them back from an armored car usually because they have recce. So here he's to take some shots at my irregulars. I go ahead and take a dice out and go down. They're kind of he's got a squad of Ghurkas, you know, in that truck. So it looks like this house in the middle is going to be kind of in contention. I know I have a squad coming on the left. I have a squad coming on the right, but he's got a veteran squad down here with 2 light machine guns in it on the very bottom of the screen, who's going to occupy that thing. I figure I just let them occupy it and ignore them. So I go ahead and do an advance. Going on the road, I can go double the movement, and I'm going to try to get into that building first. And I do go ahead and pull another dice, and I go ahead and put them in. They're on the ground floor, but it's just easier to put them there. So I'm in there, and I don't know what I'm rolling for. Cause I didn't advance. It's not a house, so you don't have to run. I fired some shots at the truck. I was able to put a pin on the truck and a pin on the squad inside. Would have been nice if that would have popped, but oh well. Yeah, it's not a house. We had declared that whole thing as just a rubble wreck. It wouldn't be any house rules, building rules, and we wouldn't have to worry about windows or anything like that as far as how many things can shoot. So he's got a light howitzer in these trees right there, and he knows he can't move them, and he shoots at me needing a 5 because I just moved in there, and he misses because again he doesn't ignore the terrain because it's not a building. And then he's kind of thinking the same thing as me, so he goes ahead and just kind of waits in the middle and moves those guys into that rubble piece, hard cover. I do have a mortar somewhere. I have my forward artillery, or my air artillery observer. Kind of, you see that creek there with the trees? They're kind of blended in. They're right there. And I'm planning to just plop crap down in the middle. But then I'm also looking at this tree stand where he's got his artillery piece. He's got a lieutenant and then his mortar behind there. So he advances that squad into the kind of wheat field and shoots at my guys in the hard cover. He puts a pin on them. I don't think he kills anyone. And I kind of move up into the trees and go ahead and return fire. And I'm able to actually roll real well, and I kill 2. And I put a pin on. All his infantry is veteran. Same as all my infantry stuff. I'm really kind of not liking that armored car. Because I'm going to have to use and he's got a Stuart off the board still. Can't come in until turn 2. He's just in regular reserve with the Stuart. So I go ahead and plan my artillery strike. I'm going to try to get that truck where I might go to and get the artillery piece in the woods. I don't like that thing at all either, light howitzer sitting there looking across from 2 of my infantry squads. So he passes order check with his truck, and he just drives it around that way. And then he's, I think he's concerned about turn 2 if my lead comes in or something. So he backs her up just a little bit, and then it's got a medium machine gun on it, so he fires some shots at I think the dudes. Oh, actually my medic is, if I remember correctly, right on the other side of those trees, and he shoots at my medic, and I cry Geneva Convention foul, and I survive with no cover, veteran medic. So it actually turns out to be very beneficial later, because I think I saved quite a few wounds. Since this match, he comes out with his Ghurka squad. He thought about assaulting, and he decided to not do that. He just wanted to come out and put some shots on the squad in light cover. And you see it there, my medic now. He's standing right there in the road, and he survived 5 medium machine gun shots. He didn't shoot at them with his Ghurkas. I went down with my medic. But so anyway, after I posted some stuff up online, I realized, since it's in the rule book, and I can't remember the last time I ran a medic, but it does not save guys from HE shots. And I know in this game he killed 2 of my guys with, I think he killed 3 with an HE shot, and I saved 2 of them, which made a big difference in the game, as you'll see later on. It also doesn't save guys from exceptional damage, which that didn't come into effect in any of the 3 games. I don't think anybody died from an exceptional damage where a medic saved them, but the HE does matter. So we start turn 2 here. Yeah, I'm pulling now. So we started turn 2. He pulls the first couple dice. He fired his light howitzer at my squad in the building, and that's, I think, where he hit and he killed, and I saved a couple with the medic. And I was cheering about that a little bit, and I shouldn't have done that because it was against the rules. So, but he did. I know he did kill 1. Oh yeah. So here's the HE shot coming in, and he killed a few, and I saved at least 1 or 2 with the medic. I think 2 out of 4. So I should have 2 guys less, which he then assaults me, and so that saves me 1 order dice, because we're both Ghurkas, so we both have each other's. And I had a squad of 8, now I have a squad of 6. If I would have had a squad of 4, I would have only had 2 dice, but I had 3 dice. My 3 dice, we both airball, and then I get 1, and he gets none. So it might have made a difference. I mean, he did airball twice, and all I needed was 1 out of his 4 attacks, which is, you know, Ghurkas versus Ghurkas, we have each other's. And I do consolidate to get away from the stuff that's damaging me. And I'm kind of like on the edge of that building. I have hard cover from the armored car. His truck's in the way at the moment. So that was pretty pivotal, and we both agreed when he said, "I'm going to just do it." This might be. I did have another squad back here in the trees, but Ghurkas versus Ghurkas going Simo. It's basically a crapshoot. You're throwing 4 dice. Tough Fighter doesn't help you at all unless you score a hit. And my mortar is trying to shoot at his howitzer for 2 turns, and I have not hit. And spoiler alert, my mortar does not hit the entire game. I think getting all the way down to needing a 3 before we ran out of time, and it kind of did that the entire tournament. I was cursing Dexter Wallace for using my mortar. Then I realized that was my airborne mortar. I figured he had tainted it with his cursed fingers. But I have to say no, because this is a British mortar. Probably it did so poorly because I didn't paint up a jungle Ghurka style jungle fighter mortar. I just used one that I had, and they're wearing just the standard British uniform. They're probably too sweaty to perform properly, and they didn't fit in. I think we did artillery. He had an artillery observer, and so did I. He waits on his. I fired mine, and it did squat. I think it put a pin on his howitzer. And yeah, his comes in later because his does a lot more than mine. I could tell right away, his list is nice and solid. Veterans, some Ghurkas, truck, AEC Mark II, the Stewart. I mean, he knows how to build a list. And after the first 2 turns, I know that he's a newer player to bolt action, but I know he's very skilled and tactful. And I'm not counting on any kind of mistakes because he's clearly showing he knows what he's doing. Which is nice. I mean, when you go to a new event, you get the first draw. Oh, actually, yeah, he challenged me to the match, so he knew what he was about. And he fired, I think, his light mortar at me. I think I went down. I was too worried about catching a 2-inch template and losing too many guys out of that squad, staring across at a veteran squad. I know I've got my Lee coming in this turn. And my armored car. Armored car with a light autocannon is really, yeah. From future events, I'm going to take the Humber Mark IV, which is a light anti-tank gun. It gives me much more ability to maybe do stuff. The +2 really, it just lacks the versatility. I can't go after his armored car with it. It won't do anything other than, well, maybe I guess it could glance and 8 armor, but against trucks and whatnot, it's kind of overkill. And against like a Stewart, it could at the most glance. But in another matches, there's tanks that I can't even do anything to unless I get around the side of them, which is very difficult to do. I think I take this shot from him. I don't go down. I lose a guy for it. But I wanted to, and he killed my NCO on an exceptional damage. But I wanted to keep that threat from those guys viable. Those guys remove a pin. They go ahead and advance. I'm not too concerned about those guys because you have to pick up skins, and they're just in soft cover in the middle of the board. I could go after them with my Lee. Oh, and I've got a squad across from him. I've got my mortar back behind the tree stand, which is an order dice he could potentially pick up. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to get this truck. And I was like, oh, shoot. So one thing about this list, I've got 4. He didn't kill it, thankfully. He just hit it. I've got 4 order dice to protect that are just trucks. And, like the observer and whatnot. So although I have some very tough units, I have some very fragile stuff that are easy order dice for opponents to pick up. And then I also have a medic, which he just placed an artillery spotter token. And this is my observer. It's a 3-man squad with submachine guns. Go ahead and start moving them up, thinking, well, maybe they can get into a fight later. I rally my truck. which was actually kind of a little unnerving in that if I would have failed and I have an enemy to my front, I would have backed up, and I probably would have backed up right in front of that armored car and spoiled my shot. So he comes in with his Stuart, which I was pleasant. I don't know if we were getting low on the order dice, but he comes in and I don't think he really came in a great spot, but I'm down with those guys already, and I think he needs super sixes, and that's all of his shooting, and he had one potential and didn't get it. So probably not the best shot. I'm not sure what he's thinking, other than he's going to force my hand, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Lee. And the Lee comes in, and the one nice thing about, see, I want to get in this soft cover because I am worried about that armored car with a medium anti-tank gun. I want to be at least some kind of cover, but I don't want to block myself from the wheat field, so he's very helpful on that with my intention. And then we check range. I am at long range at this, so I'm looking for a 5, but shooting both these guns at the same time. I'm shooting the machine gun at those guys, the Kupla. And I roll good again. I killed 2. Both times I hit those guys with 2 shots, I rolled 2 kills, hitting at 5 or 6. So the twin big guns on this thing is almost like an autocannon in that you get 2 shots. One of them is at +4 and one of them at +5 at range. Obviously they're down 1. I rolled 2 hits needing 5s, and then the light anti-tank gun actually scores a 6, which penetrates, and I blow it up. So that was pretty good rolling. Fortunate for me. I'm glad I was able to. That thing just had so many machine guns. And we're just about done with turn 2. And he's calculating a new strategy, because whatever he had in his mind just kind of changed with that Stuart getting waxed. So now he's got an armored car. He knows I have an armored car, but it only has a light autocannon. So he just kind of wedges up a little bit to not have the hard cover for my Ghurkas. I can't go down. And yeah, he kills a couple, or just put a pin on, I think, because I didn't roll any medic check, because I have a medic right up against there. I passed the test to bring on my armored car, and I really want to use this road, but I don't have it the greatest, so I just come down, turn, and I think I fired 2 shots at his truck, and they both missed, leading on 5. Movement, soft cover. And we start turn 3. So now outflankers can come in, and one of the things the guy running the tournament, and sometimes I don't hear because I'm in the zone as we're playing, I don't remember him calling out any time marks, but this is taking way longer than it looks in the video, and I don't know exactly how so much time has gone by, but I think towards the end of this turn he comes by and he says 15 minutes remaining. So the deployment took a long time, which is unfortunate because the game was going very good, but his artillery barrage comes in and he doesn't roll any 6s, but he has a sweet shot which puts like 2 pins on everything. My armored car, my truck, my artillery observer guy, my squad, and he does roll a 6 on those guys, which sucks, and he's able to get all of them, and I'm not sure. He killed 2, and that's where okay, this is where I saved the guys with because I went down, or I stayed down. Shoot, I don't remember exactly, but I did save 2 guys. That's John with his head hung low, and I shouldn't have, because that would technically be an HE shot. I am paratroopers, so even if he would have knocked me down to half, I'd be testing on a 10 as far as And, yeah, because I went down. You can declare down after a 6 is rolled if it's from a source that is not directly firing at it. So I went down, and he was able to. Is 4 guys, so that would be 2 hits, and I saved the 2 with the medic. So it would have normally been a 2 dead guys with a check. I have probably 6 pins on me, but I would have ignored those. I would have tested on a 10, which, you know, I haven't been known to fail. But so these guys passed. I think they rallied the turn before. I don't remember. They may be carrying a pin with them. They have a dead NCO. I know that. And I start putting some shots. I know I've got my outflankers coming in, and you realize I made a mistake there. I moved those guys onto the road. I'm blocking the road, and I realized that like right after I do my fire, I'm like, gosh darn it, blocking the road. So it kind of limits where I can come in with my Ghurkas, with the submachine guns. It'd been better to come down the road and hop out in the wheat field, but it is what it is. And at some point here he comes along and says we have 15 minutes remaining. So then it's like, well, we need order dice. And he's got right by his right hand, he's got an artillery observer. So his truck, I think, just fires at my squad that is down. And so it looks like I moved my Lee up, and I kind of split my fire around. I think I fired at his light howitzer and that squad. I think they're down. This doesn't look like exactly where I left off. He did fire his light anti-tank at my, because I wrecked my armored car back here. I made a mistake, and then he fired his light howitzer at the side of it as a light anti-tank gun, needing a 3 and maybe a 4. I can't remember if it goes through that wheat field, but he rolled like a 1. He could have picked up a dice pretty quickly there. +4 against side armor. He would have been needing a 2 to glance. Here I come with my Ghurkas. Ghurkas are out. A bunch of submachine guns point blank against that guy in a wheat field. Down, needing 6s to hit him. That's ridiculous. You should. The point blank 2, wheat field 3, small team 4, down 6. That's. I almost feel like they should. If you're within an inch, the down should go away, because I don't kill him. I think I get 1 hit and don't kill him. Come out with my lieutenant with 2 submachine guns and try to pick him up there, and I don't. I think they failed a check. They tried to advance. They failed. And then yeah, that's pretty much it there. And then we still have to, I know he has to bring in his squad, or he advances the squad, I don't remember. Oh yeah, he did have some outflankers, but he wrote them down on the left. Now I'm just making sure I preserve some order dice, driving that truck away. He comes in with his squad, I think, right here. And he's like, yeah, I wrote him down on the left. Of course, there's nothing here. And it's I can't remember what it's a squad of, but I'm pretty sure it's veteran infantry. He's got a medium machine gun on there. So he's going to go after my mortar. Come in, and I had already fired, I think. Or maybe I went down. I don't remember. It didn't seem really nice to shoot. I come in with my squad. I'm worried. I was more worried about the roll that I would fail to come in. He's triggering an ambush that those guys were in, and his 2 light machine guns were in range, and they're able to hit. He doesn't pop my truck. That's good. Would have been a order dice gone. He gets the dice. I was hoping to get out first, and I'm like, gosh darn it, he's gonna pop my truck. He's gonna pick up an order dice, because we haven't hardly killed anything. And he rolled horrible. I don't think he even scored a hit. I passed with my guys. They come out and they shoot at his truck with like the 3 rifles they have, and that's the game. So now we're just kind of talking a little bit about the match and the close combat that was so pivotal, which was pretty much the game. You had to win by 2. There was some bonus stuff that I don't think we both scored the points for having more than half of our army alive, and I had picked up, I think I picked up 2 units. My mortars never killed that howitzer. I picked up the Stuart and that squad, and I don't think I lost any, so I won by 2. So it was almost a stalemate. In all reality, and like we're both running some Ghurkas, and neither one of us killed hardly anything. So kind of weak. If we would have went to another turn, I would have just kind of moved my mortar. If I could go first, I would hide my mortar around the side of the woods. We'd probably both try to kill each other's truck to score the thing. I would pick up his observer and maybe his truck over in the wheat field. That truck in the wheat field, I did assault it with an up and out